Take your wildest dream and make it a reality. Make it not a dream anymore. Make it something that's real. Bring it to fruition. Tell yourself you're a star.
Peace. Choose to inspire, not destroy podcast, and we're back.
Austin.
Yo. Choose to inspire, not destroy.
You chase that down with some water. Now I'm gonna be on your ass
I'm
because of
recording.
your health, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody gonna see this.
And it's the love,
You know,
man.
Yeah, I
man,
appreciate you. Yeah. Peace. Choose to inspire, not destroy podcast, episode 39, and I'm back. No, you're not mistaken. This time I got two different guys with me. Shout out to Kofi and B. They're still a part of the family, but this one is a really special one to me, and I had to do it this way for a reason. I'll get into that later. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining us. If you've been here before, you already know what's up. Hope life is good and you're inspired. And this one is really special, man. I got Keith, KK, and Hans with me. The committee crew in the building. You always hear me talking about Keith, KK, KK. I know you've heard about the committee crew before.
Yeah, baby.
But it's a three-headed monster. We got Hans in the building. I had to do it this way. Triple threat. We got a lot to talk about, fellas, and a lot to unpack. Thank you for joining me. Let's make it a good one. How y'all doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having us, man.
Nah,
Yeah, man. Good, man. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure, man. Like, you know, if I'm up here and I'm talking about mental health and I'm trying to break down some walls and I'm trying to express myself and the other guys are expressing themselves and we just trying to provide a certain type of content that lets people know it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to unpack those bags and get that load off your back and talk about some of them demons, you know, like get some of that stuff away. Then it's only right that I introduce the audience to my foundation. And you guys are my foundation in friendship, in love, in brotherhood, and just me growing into a man. And it's really important that I do this. It was really important that I got you two together because the story can't be told without all three of us, you know, because it's a package. It's a package deal. You take one, you take them all. It's always been that way. It's still been that way. And hopefully the audience enjoys it, man, and they understand that, you know, it's a movement.
Definitely, man. What is it, like over 20 years?
Yeah.
What we going on, 25 years? What we going?
Yeah. Well, I met KK when I was 16, and I met you when I was
95.
17. Yeah, so
95.
it's 20 plus. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
definitely,
20
man.
plus.
A lot of memories. A lot of memories and stuff like that. So it's good. It's good being on your platform, man.
Nah, I appreciate it. It's I've been waiting. You know what I mean? I've been trying to plan it out and figure out how to get it to work. And hold up, let me give some clarity to the audience first. The only reason why B and Kofi is not on this episode is because there's so much history between me and these two guys that I feel like the only way we could really translate that and get the point across that I want to get across is for it to just be us three so the conversation can flow the way we need it to flow. It's easy to get distracted and for things to go in another direction when you have a bunch of people. So they're still down, they're still family. They'll be back on the next one. I might even just call this a bonus episode or whatever, but it's definitely going to be a great one, and it's one that I've been looking forward to, and I'm actually kind of nervous. I'm not going front.
Yeah, we had some drinks.
We're all nervous. We're all nervous.
Yeah. All right. So let me put it like this. You know, I wanna get into who we were as individuals before we met, because it's easy to tell the story of our friendship and what it was when we were in it and we were living it. But I don't think that we knew exactly what we all were going through outside of that friendship, and how we developed into those people that we met. You know, like it's a lot of life in between that we lived up until when we met each other and when we started bonding and we developed these friendships that turned into lifelong bonds, because you're my brothers. And let me be clear, I love y'all, man. Like with all my heart, both of y'all mean the world to me.
The love is back, man. The love is
same here,
love guys.
man. Same here. Once I got that phone call, I said, "Oh, of course, I gotta do this."
Yeah, come on. You know it was coming. You know
Yeah.
it definitely was coming.
G been trying to get me for a while. It's like, come on, Keith, you got to get on here. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, man. It's tough sometimes. It's busy, you know, with family and stuff like
family,
that.
children, and you know, I know you're coaching now and stuff like that. And you know, before we start anything, you know, I just want to, you know, give you guys a tribute to how much you guys mean to me as well. You know, just you know, both you guys as brothers, older brothers, you know, guiding me and mentoring me throughout my journey of life. You know, helping me as a young man develop. You know, as a father. You know, I watch both you guys. You know what I mean, and now I'm here to you know share the stories to your audience, G. And I just want to say thank you. You know, like I told you yesterday over the phone, man. You know, if I didn't meet you guys, you know, I don't know where I'd be. You know what I mean? But I feel like you know you guys saved my life. So I just want to say thank you to both of you, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yo, it was a pleasure then, and it's a pleasure now, Hov, man. Like you did the same, and we'll get into all of that. The feeling is definitely mutual for both of y'all. It's been a long journey, and you know, just thinking about it it made me emotional, unpacking some of the thoughts and the memories, and kind of just realizing what it really meant to me, because you don't really know what it means to you when you live in it. You just boys, you running around and you enjoying yourself and you got some friends. But when you sit back and you think about it, it's like, yeah, these guys saved your life. You know, they really saved your life. It's not like a fake, a cool saying. It times was hard and it was dark, and they shine some light on that darkness, and we gonna get into a lot, man. I got a lot to say to y'all.
I just want to say thank you also to both of you guys. And you know, I was always like the big brother to you guys because I was the oldest.
Yo, stop
and
saying
no matter
that.
what,
Hold on.
I'm just saying, yo, no matter
what. You
what,
a couple of
no
months older than me. He always be saying that. But all right, go ahead. I'm gonna let you have that. Go ahead.
Old is old, bro.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All right.
I love you guys also.
Nah, I love you too.
So
yeah.
You know, no matter what, I was always gonna look out for you guys, no matter what. You know, try to direct you to the right path. But it was always love. Like no matter what, George, Hans, P, Mark, I'll do anything for you guys. You know, and you know, even if it was just bowling, if it was just going out, just chilling. I just, you know, we had a connection, and I feel like with me, George, Hans, Mark, the connection was there. Was like we didn't have both parents.
No.
Some people had one, some people had none. You know, so that was the tough part.
Yeah.
So I mean, the bond was there no matter what. Like it was just there. Like you know, like no matter what, I got your back, and I know you got my back.
Yeah.
So thank you again, and I love you guys. And you know, but for the friendship, 20 plus years, man, we still going strong.
And it's still going strong. Which is so crazy. It's just like, you know, we all branched off to different things, but we still find time to, you know, for each other. You know, family events, weddings, you know, things of that nature. You know, my bachelor party. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's unbelievable how it's just like I don't even call you guys friends anymore. It's just like it's just pure brotherhood. Like you know what I mean? Like Like that's all. That's the only way I can honestly explain this thing of ours. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a pure brotherhood.
All right.
For sure, man.
Now that we got the thank yous and the
Got
love
it out there.
yous and all of that out the way,
Yeah, the mushy stuff out.
it's time to get down to business, fellas. It's
Yeah,
time
man.
to unpack these bags. Who wants to go first? Who wants
I
to
mean,
talk about what
G,
it was like
G,
growing up?
G, you met KK in what 9-5, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
94,
yeah.
95, 96, I
In
would say.
9-5. So
Yeah.
I guess you guys started off the scene.
There you
guys
go,
can start
G.
off the
You
scene.
started off, G.
You
Start
want
off.
me to go first?
Yeah, I'll
Because
just jump in back and forth.
well, I'm if I'm going first, I'm not gonna start from when we met. You know, I gotta
right.
start from kind of just the person I was up until when we met and some of the things that I was dealing with and I was going through that made our friendship even more special at the time when we started to connect. Because, you know, I talk about losing my mom a lot on this show. She passed away when I was 5, maybe 6. And I don't have all of the details. I guess they say there's something that where it's like when you go through a traumatic experience or whatever, you kind of your mind just blocks out certain memories automatically, and you can't remember things. So it's a lot that I don't remember, but it was kind of like she passed away, and I ended up living with my pops, and it just wasn't a good space because to me it was like she passed away and now I'm living with him and he got a family, like he got a woman already, she got a kid. What's going on? This is not my mom's, this is not my house, this is not my family, and I'm being abused over here. Like I'm not safe, you know. And it was really tough to be somewhere where you don't feel safe and they're not your family, and your pops he's just not there. Like he's around but he's not there. And I feel like I got a phone call one day and he was like, yo, your mother's not coming home no more. How do you tell a child that, you know, over the phone?
Yeah.
Like I already don't know why I'm living here. Like why am I over here? I went from being over there to now I'm over here, and you just telling me that. So fast forward, the only memory I really have of my mother is being at her funeral and kissing her goodbye. If you played her voice on a recording right now with like 5 other voices or whatever, I couldn't tell you which one was hers. And that was something that it was tough to deal with. So I tried staying with him. Well, I stayed with him. I'm a kid. I didn't have a choice. I stayed with him, and being somewhere where it's stuff going on that it's like, yeah, this is not okay. I don't feel loved. I don't feel safe. I don't feel protected. I wanted to leave. So I called my sister. Hey, can I come stay with you? I told him first, I want to go live with my sister. He said, call her, tell her. I call her. She says, okay. It's crazy to me how you let a 7-year-old or 8-year-old, however old, decide where they want to live when you're their parent. My mother's gone. I'm your sole responsibility now. Your job is to make sure that I grow up into a healthy, responsible, functioning person. And you pass me off to a 21, 22-year-old. My sister was really young. Shout out to her for being willing to take on the responsibility of raising me. And I love her to death. And I hope anything I say doesn't offend her. But leaving my pops and going to live with her was like leaving one hell to go stay in another hell. She was young. She was in a relationship with a man that treated me like garbage. It was a tough environment. You know, I went there thinking that this is the only person that's close to being my family. You know, I had a brother that he was always in prison. I had another brother that he was addicted and he wasn't a part of the family. He was never around. And the brother that's closest to me, Sean, we're 10 years apart. He was 16 when he lost our mother. So for a while I resented him and I felt like he left me. Like, dog, you supposed to be my older brother. Where are you? What are you doing? But I didn't realize that he lost his mother, a mother that he knew. I'm a grown man and I still can't get over losing her. It's almost like chasing a ghost. But he lost her and he knew her. He got to love her. She got to love him. He got to have memories with her. So I didn't understand that I needed to cut him some slack, that he didn't know how to deal with that. His pain was different from my pain. I just knew that I needed somebody and I felt like I had nobody. So I'm living in this house now and it's not even like I'm a part of the family. It's like I'm a burden. I'm a guest. And this dude, my sister's husband, his sole purpose is to make sure he divides us, that he has all of her love. And instead of realizing that you're my father now, my father gave y'all to me. My sister's my mother. She's not my sister no more. You're my parents. I'm staying there, and it was hard, man. It was hard because your mother is your first real experience with love, I think. They teach you about unconditional love. They love you unconditionally. They hug you. They protect you. They coach you. They console you. They're everything to you. Like, if you don't have nobody, you're supposed to have your moms. And I didn't have that off the rip. So I didn't have any connection or any idea of how love was supposed to feel and what it was supposed to be. I just knew that I wanted to be with my sister because she was as close as I could get to family. And I get there and I'm there, and now it's like, yeah, you're supposed to be raising me, but I'm being tortured damn near. You going out, you going to the mall, you leaving me in the car for hours. You going shopping in places. You leaving me in the car. Everywhere you go, you leaving me in the car for hours. This dude is just, he's trying to destroy me. You go to jail for that shit now. Leaving your kid in the vehicle. They got a dog. This dog is attacking me, growling at me, biting me, scratching me and shit. Like when I walk by it, I don't feel safe here. I'm not happy here, but I have nobody. There's nowhere to go. There are no options. My father gave me to you. And for a long time, that always continued. It was no gap, no break in what it felt like was just a living hell. So I felt like I had nobody. I had nobody. And then I'm just growing up in this. And you go to school, and I fought all the time. At that time, it was like, yo, your mother jokes was popular for whatever reason. If you say your mother, it's a guarantee. It's on site for me. Like, I'm not playing. It's a zero tolerance for that. So I went through school like that. And I was always getting in trouble. And then I get to high school. And then I meet y'all. And that's where my foundation, for the most part, in life, and just not understanding love and understanding being cared for and protected, and just living in hell, like feeling like I don't even, like, what am I here for? I don't want to be here. Y'all saved my life. I probably would have killed myself at some point. Like, child suicide is a real thing. Like, people don't understand that you think because you a kid and you have no real responsibilities that you don't bear no burden. But sometimes the burden is heavier than paying a bill or going to work. It's a real load to bear. So I'm going to stop there, because that's what I mean as far as what life was like leading up to meeting you guys and why the friendship and the relationship is so important to me.
So you're gonna pass it on to me now, huh?
Whoever wants to go next,
Now I'm there,
go ahead.
and you know I love you, G, and
I
I love
love
your
you too.
show,
I love you too.
and we went through a lot of stuff, and I'll start at 5 too, since um my father went to jail for murder at 5 years old, 25 to life. That was tough off the bat, you know. I didn't understand it. I remember like driving the car, like your pops is he's arrested. Like, you know, he might not come out for a while. As 5 years old, you're like, you don't think about 25 years of your life. It's like, wow, you're living without a dad for 25 years. Boom, that's it. That's it. So my mom's was living the 80s, you know, drugs, all that stuff. So I hated her for a while. But then to think about it, like, she just went through something too. She just lost her husband. And now she got to bring up this kid that's 5 years old without a dad for 25 years. So she's just doing her own thing. Lucky I had my grandmother. And she saved me for a while. For a while. I lived with her at 5. I moved in with her. My mother, my 2 uncles at the time. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Like playing sports on the block, and you got your mother like hammered. She's coming, like, she came to open the door. I'm playing football right now with my friends. Like, they don't want to say nothing to me, but it's pretty embarrassing. So I had to live with that from all the way to high school. But my grandmother, she took me in, and she was the mother. And like, she could only help me until 8th grade. You know, so like, I had her chasing me around the neighborhood. Come on, come inside, Keith. Come on, do this, do that. While my mother's just running around crazy, just doing whatever she wanted to do. My dad calling me once a month. Because you know, the collect calls, they're expensive. So my grandmother's like, I can't afford it. Like, you're going to talk to your dad like once a month. And there's times I'm playing football on the block, and she's like, Keith, your dad's on the phone. So I'm like, all right, I'll go up there. You know, as a kid, you're like, I want to play with my friends. Like, so I go up there, talk to him 5-10 minutes. Dad, I love you, do this, that. And then I go right back, play football. Like, sports saved my life. People don't understand that. Like, that was my outlet. Sports, like basketball, baseball. So fast forward all the way to 8th grade, my grandmother passed away. So at that time, that's like losing my mom's. Like, because my mom's is still alive, but she's not there. She's not there. So I'm just like, and people used to say it, like, my grandmother used to baby me, like, oh, when your grandmother passed, I don't know what Keith's gonna do. So that kind of like pushed me to be like a great person or a good person. Like, I don't gotta do it for anybody else. I don't gotta go to school. I had to wake myself up. I set an alarm up for high school, 9th grade all the way to 12th. I woke myself up. I took the bus. My mom wasn't waking me up. My dad wasn't around. So it was like, that was super tough. And then 95, I jump in, you know, I meet George. And then from that time, that brotherhood was like the greatest thing. That was my brother. Like, and it didn't matter. He's black, I'm white. Like, it doesn't matter about race. It doesn't matter, you know. We bonded. Like, you know, we had each other's back, and we had a tough life, and we got through it, you know. So I'm gonna lead off there because that was 95, and I'm gonna pass it to Hans.
Well, prior to me meeting you guys, you know, uh, I had both my parents in the beginning. In the beginning, and you know, my father was still ripping and running. You know, doing his thing, bouncing around. You know, being a young man, right? My parents, Haitian American parents. You know, well, Haitian immigrants actually. So, um, you know, my father always wanted to, you know, he always saw the bigger picture. You know what I mean? And I feel like my mother was just a tad bit behind as far as seeing the bigger picture, as far as like educating herself and you know, doing bigger things. You know what I mean? So eventually, you know, my father ended up leaving, and it's just me, my sister, my younger sister at the time, and my mother, and it became very hard. You know, my mother had to pay a lot of bills. Basically, had to raise my sister while my mother was out working maybe two or three jobs, odd jobs. So, you know, having a childhood, I didn't have one. My friends were outside playing. I couldn't go outside to play because, you know, I had to be home to care for my sister. You know, um, so I used different things as outlets. You know, anytime I got to go to school, went to school, but I would, you know, lash out. You know, because I didn't get to unleash anything because I was always stuck inside all the time, and I was miserable because I'm like, damn, like like I love my sister, but why do I have to, you know, make sure she gets ready for school in the morning, or make sure she has breakfast made, or make sure she bathes, and like, you know what I mean? Why am I stuck with all these responsibilities? Like, you know what I mean? And it was just like, come on, like, I'm a young kid. I want to play. I want to do things. You know, I have dreams. I have other things that I want to do. You know, why I can't do this? You know, and I use that, and as soon as I got to go outside, I'll just raise hell. You know what I mean? And after a while, like my mother didn't know what to do. Like she didn't know how to control me. Like I always been bigger than the average person. So it's just like, damn, like this guy's so big, and like how do I control this kid? And you know, and I feel like I was dealing with a lot of resentment too because my father left and never looked back. So it's like my mother couldn't take her anger out on nobody but me. You know what I mean? Like I look just like the guy. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of things the average person would get a little tap on the wrist for, it would be completely different for me. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to get too extensive in the type of abuse that I was dealing with, but I just had to take that, you know what I mean? And just I was just like, yo, you know what? Like she's upset, you know, shit is hard, like how we gonna eat? How because I already knew, I saw everything early, so I was just like, okay, how we gonna keep these bills? How we gonna keep the lights on? How we gonna keep food, on the table? Or you know what, like, all right, there's one piece of chicken. You know what? My sister can have that. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? And I became, resentful because I'm like, at the time, I was my father's only son. So I'm just like, why are you not coming to like save me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, call me something. Like, check for me. Like, or even if I did get a phone call and he'll tell me, listen, I'm gonna come check you on Friday. I'd stay at that door. the entire time waiting for him, and he'll never show up. And that just made me more mad and more mad and more mad. So when I got outside, I tear shit up. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm walking to school, I see kids getting dropped off by their pops, and I'm just like, why you don't want to be with me? You know what I mean? Like, why you not coming to check me? And why my mom's is so hard on me? You know what I mean? Like, why you hate me so much? You know? So, like I was dealing with all of that. You know, and at a young age, I had to figure it out from early because I already knew this wasn't going to change. This ain't going to change. He ain't going to come. Like after a while, I stopped waiting on Fridays. You know, and I just say, you know what? I just got to do what I got to do. Some good, some bad. And, things that I'll talk about. I might get in depth, and things I might not want to talk about. But I understood. I understood at a young age how hard it was. And then I ended up before I met you guys. I ended up, going to a school prior, and if like what I'm saying, going to school in the '90s, it wasn't easy. You know what I'm saying? So every day was like World War III in that school. Like, and I'm just like, yo, like compared to like the junior high schools and whatever I was going to, we get into our little squabbles here and there. But by the time I got to high school, I'm like, oh nah, everybody tearing shit up for real. And then one thing I would, thank her for is, what I'm saying, finding a way to, get me out of there. And then, making that decision because she ended up finding out where my father was living at the time and was just like, yo, you know what? While I'm working these two jobs, God forbid if something happens to you, I know he lives close by to this school. So you going to go all the way over there. So if anything happens, at least you could go to his house for safety. That was her mind frame at that time. And then that's how I ended up at Grover Cleveland. And then I feel like the story begins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just want to clear something up real quick because this is just the reality. This is not to try and downplay the efforts of the people that were trying to take care of us or anything.
Definitely.
This is just our side and what we lived through and how we felt. So, if my sister ends up seeing this, I don't want her to feel like I don't appreciate her. I love her. I love you to death. And I understand that it was not easy to be trying to raise a child when, you were essentially still a child yourself, 21, 22 years old. You didn't have any time to live or develop into a woman. And you lost your mother also. So I understand that your pain is your pain, but this is my pain. And it's not to discredit you or anybody. I just wanted to make that clear.
Definitely.
And meeting y'all, it's funny because it was like me and Keith was boys and then me and Hans was boys. Like we were separate boys, but I had two best friends,
Yeah.
and it just happened. It was like I was this kid that was in school feeling like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders, and I felt safe and I felt like I enjoyed going to school because I wasn't in the house. Anytime out of the house was good times for me. And meeting Keith, I remember like, yeah, he always was just the white boy that I felt like was cool. He used to rock this green Oakland A's hat. I saw his notebook one day and he had like a rap and graffiti on his
No way.
notebook.
No way.
Yeah. It was crazy when we used to play volleyball in gym, like you had sections to your gym class. Like you had to play volleyball first or something, and then you could get to the basketball part. He used to always take the volleyball and be dribbling the volleyball. So I was like, oh, all right, like, yeah, he got a little bit of style to him. And then we ended up becoming friends, and it was like, it was instantly, man. We went from not knowing each other to knowing each other and being together all the time. And it was like my first experience with having a brother, not really just having a friend. It was, we was similar in age. We were going through similar things in life for the most part, with not having, parents. Like he didn't have parents, and it seemed like I did, but I didn't. I just was living in a house where I was just getting by how I was getting by. And I met somebody that he cared for me, and he wanted to see me happy, and we shared a lot, and we vibed, and we kicked it, and it was special, and it just took off from there. And then I met Hans, and it was the same thing. Hans gave me a younger brother that it was like he cared for me too, and he showed me love, and he wanted to be around me, and he made me. You both gave me my first experience with love. Like, I'm just gonna keep using that word because that's what it was. I was a kid that felt like nobody loved him. I felt like I had nobody. Nobody cared for me. Nobody was coming to care for me. Nobody was gonna protect me. And y'all came and you gave me something that was missing. And it was really important to me. And it helped me get through a lot, just being with y'all, just talking and laughing and growing.
Yeah, for sure. But let's go with the raps, because my rap career ended real quick because G was nasty back in the days.
Yeah,
And that was around
you know
that was
what's
around
up.
Eminem days. So
You
I
know
was
what's
like,
up.
all right. I
Yeah.
mean,
A
Yeah,
little bit before, but
it said I dropped coins. I never
yeah.
I
come on,
never
G,
forget.
come on,
It
I
G.
never
said
knew that. So that's a secret right
Yo,
there in
but
itself.
yeah.
Like I never knew that.
Yeah,
So
it's not thinking back. I kind of think that maybe it was just like because he was good at ball, so I dropped coins was like he scored points or something. I don't know,
okay.
but
I mean, I
either
guess.
either way, it was just it was organic, man. And Hans, our our development was a little different, and we talked about it. But for the
Yeah.
audience, it was like I was in class and I'm coming out of class, and somebody keeps talking about my cousin. I'm like,
hmm
my cousin? Who's my cousin? I don't. But I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And
Yeah.
then I meet you, and it's like, oh, so you're my cousin.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like, well, he sees something in me for him to identify with me like that. So I'll take it and I'll run with it because again, I ain't got nobody. So I want it. And from then we've been family.
It's crazy, because we talked about it offline, but now to bring it full circle here on your platform, it was just like, coming from where we came from, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have nobody. All my family lived so far away from, where I'm located. And I told you, you when I first met you, you reminded me of my closest cousin. So it was just like by you just giving me that reminder, it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna he don't know, I'm gonna make him family no matter what. Like whether he likes it or not, I have to make this guy family because it's just, you know what I mean? Like you probably all I got right now, you know what I mean? And it's so crazy how we all told us our backstory, and we were all going through something similar, and how we came together. That's like God speaking to you. Like I don't know, you don't think so? Like it's just so
I think it's
weird to
like
me.
it should be a movie. It should be a movie. I
Yeah, like
mean,
you know what I'm saying. Like, but there's so many people out here that go through the same trials and
exactly.
tribulations and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it's just like we leaned on each other you know what I'm saying, for the family that we were yearning for. You know what I mean? And I just want to say thank you, G, for just making that clear. This is not to bash any of our family members. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just we're just telling our truth and from our perspective. You know what I mean? But we don't look at our family members any differently.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah, for sure. I agree on that too. You know, like I have my
Yeah.
cousins and stuff, but I see you guys more than my cousins. You know, and I'm not
Yeah.
bashing them on that, but you guys were my family. Like I want to chill with you guys. Like no matter what, it was like weekends. We're going to ball. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And it
Yeah.
was like no trouble. We were just having a good time. You know. So
Definitely.
thank you both of you guys because like we all had tough lives, but we needed an outlet, and sports were the outlet. Basketball was definitely the outlet for us. You know. So thank
Even
you
as
again.
you bring up as you bring up basketball, like I wasn't even playing basketball. I was just honestly, I was just trying to stay alive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm like, yo, whatever happened before is not happening here. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, like I don't know how, I don't know what happened. I don't know, but
I remember what
look,
happened, but we're gonna keep that offline.
yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you playing ball? I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, nah. You feel me? I'm like, oh, nah,
You
nah,
better
nah, nah,
play
nah.
ball. You were 6'5", 6'6",
yeah,
man.
Yeah,
yeah.
man. But K, if you saw what I was like before that, I was like, oh, no, like
Nah,
I'm just trying to stay alive, B.
I think
You
you
know, but
had to. I think that's what it was.
I
It
was
was like
forced to.
because
I was forced to.
that's what we was doing, and we was so close. It was like that's what you gonna do too. But
Yeah.
and we're gonna make sure that you can do it. You know,
Mm,
like we saw something in you. It was kind of like a trickle down effect for me
mm,
because I had no intentions on even playing ball until
mm,
KK was like, "Look, you got to come try out with me."
yeah.
He was like, "Oh, you trying out for the team, right?" I was like, "No, like I'm good." And it was
Mm,
like, "Nah, like you got to try out, bro. You got to try out." And he encouraged me and he supported me. He made me feel like I was good enough. I didn't feel like I was good enough. Even if
mm,
in reality I was good, I didn't see it in myself that I could be on the team. And
yeah.
he put that in me. Like he made me understand that look, you good, I got you. We going together and we gonna do this. And
Yeah.
we did it, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It just added to our friendship, and it added to the fact that I knew that he wanted to see me do well, and he wanted to see me be okay, and he just wanted us to be together, and that he saw me the way I saw him, and I started to trust him, which was really hard for me to do at that time. Like everybody stayed at a distance, but I started to be like, nah, this is my man for real.
Yeah, that's one thing about KK.
Sometimes,
He always wants everybody to shine, and you know
yo,
he always
sometimes
wants
you
to
need
be a
that
part
little
of
push.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You need that
yeah,
push
yeah,
sometimes, you know.
yeah.
So I had to push G, like, and then at the end of the day, remember we're in school all day. Now
yeah,
you extending your time with each other because we playing basketball, we practicing,
yeah,
practice, game time. I mean, we have so many memories. It's like you can't take that away no matter what. Like we didn't
nah,
have certain things, but those memories will always be there. Like that
lifetime.
that brought us together, you know. So it's a great feeling, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
was
It was an
family.
empty feeling. It was an empty feeling, and it was a great feeling because when we were together, remember, we can have to practice 5:36. We going to Wendy's. We got the little deal. We
Me
got
and
the
G
deal. We're
was
going
going
to
to
Wendy.
decal. We was going to the pizzeria on decal.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
Yeah,
yeah.
In that
until
corner
you found
store
out
on
the
decals
Wendy's
too.
deal.
Yeah, until I found out the
Until you heard
Wendy's
the
deal,
Wendy's
you
deal.
just gotta
Yeah, well,
buy a
yeah. They was like, yo,
burger
you know
and
what?
that
Let's
bag
split on
Yeah,
that block.
you getting
Let's
nuggets. You
split on
getting
that block.
fries, soda for just two
was
nineteen,
like,
bro. You know,
wait,
we didn't have money back
Yeah,
in the days.
yeah, why
nah,
your
no money.
bag
But we
so
You
had each
gotta,
other
heavy?
though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the crazy part. It's just like we didn't have that much money, but we put our money together and made it work. You know what I mean? And that just goes to show you how much of a family we already knew what family was from back then. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like, you know what? Yo, listen, man, you hungry? You gonna eat today, bro? Like no
Yeah.
matter what, I'm not gonna be sitting and eating a sandwich in front of you.
Yeah.
Maybe G
Yeah.
sometimes.
Let me get a
Maybe
piece of that. Let me get a piece of that, Hans. Let me
maybe
dab that.
maybe
Let me
G
dab that.
sometimes.
Let me
Let me
dab
dab
that.
that.
Yeah, I still
But
feel
Yeah.
bad
but
about
maybe
that.
G
That was
sometimes.
one time. That was only one time.
I don't
And
know,
I
G,
still
but
feel bad about that. I shouldn't have
you
did
know,
that. That was one time.
I'm like, damn, G, all right. You know what I'm saying? All right, all right. You know what I'm
Nah.
saying?
But yeah, it definitely has been an incredible journey. And you know, Hans, for somebody that didn't play ball, you turned
Mm,
out to be a great player, man. And I'm really proud of your development out there on the court and what you turned out to be. And you know, I just always wanted to see you do well too. I
you
always
did.
wanted
You
to
did.
see you shine, and that's why when you was like, yo, I can't catch it on the run. I'm like,
Yeah.
you
Yo,
gonna
I was gonna
you
bring that up.
you
Hmm.
gonna catch it on the run. You know, Hochstein used to kill me. He used to
Yeah.
Yeah.
really
I
balk
was
on
gonna
me.
bring that up right
He
now.
used to
I was gonna bring
Yeah.
that up
really
right now.
balk on me and be like, stop giving it to him when he's
On
running.
the run.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, in my
On the run.
head,
Mm,
I'm like, you're bugging. I'm gonna keep
yeah.
giving it to him. But I used to nod and be like, all right, all right, all right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. And I used to try and be like, yo, Hans, just bounce it. Catch
Yeah.
it, bounce it, and
Yeah.
then go.
But you gotta understand also, I know it's like a reoccurring like thing or whatever, but this is why like I look at you guys totally different and I put you guys on a different type of plateau as far as like all the friends that I have. You know what I mean? Because especially UG, like because we had that relationship outside of the crew, you know what I mean? It's just like you took the time out to be like, you know, yo, I'm gonna teach you how to do this. Like you understand what I'm saying? A lot of times I was getting yelled at, but nobody actually ever took the time out to teach me, So it's just like, like I gotta rewind. I couldn't go like what I'm saying. I'm raised by a woman. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's just like, if you guys really look back at it, like my mother never went to none of my basketball games. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't understand that concept. Like you know what I'm saying? They were like, what the hell is this? Like you know what I mean? I didn't have a father to actually sit here and say, "Yo, listen, this is what we're gonna do. Let me practice with you. This is what you love doing. Let me help you. You know what I mean? Let me nurture you and stuff like that." So it's just like a lot of you guys helped me do things for the first time, and I couldn't confide at that time. I was so embarrassed to, what I'm saying, explain to y'all like I don't got somebody that's going to teach me how to do this. You know what I mean? So it's just like I just got to take all the yelling and take the abuse or whatever. But I thank you guys for actually, you know what I'm saying. You know what? I don't care. You're gonna yell at me. You're gonna scream at me, but I'm still gonna give it to him. And eventually, he's gonna have to figure this out. And rolling with both of y'all, I had to figure it out.
yeah,
There was no way, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'm rolling with the two best in the school, so it's just like, nah, I gotta figure this out. Like, you know what I'm saying? F all of that. So it's just like
yeah,
I want to, especially UG, thank you because you took me, you know what I'm saying? Because my confidence was so low, and you confided in me, and you was just like, nah, I'm going to build you up. You know what I'm saying? So when we out of here, you know what I mean? You got to hold down the fort. So and UKK is just you just an animal, bro. Like and the thing is, this is why I'm so proud of you because of how you are with your son. Because a lot of the stuff that I'm like, damn man, like couldn't take me to practice. You know what I mean? So the fact
yeah,
that like when I text you on the side and I see you doing what you're doing with your son, I don't think you understand what you're doing to me and thousands of other people when you're showing how you behind him. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't have that, bro. You know, and I'm
Yeah.
just proud of you, brother. I'm You don't
Thank you, man.
understand. Like I show you off, bro. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man. Thank you. I
You
appreciate
know,
that.
so I always admired you guys, but I have to let you know this, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Thank you,
I,
man.
I speak about Ryan like he my own, bro. You know?
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
I want to touch on a couple of things on here. Like with that, like even Han saying like, oh, I didn't have my dad to teach me. Guess what? George didn't have somebody to teach him. I ain't have nobody to teach me. I just had to learn everything on the fly on my own, you know. And even as a coach at Cleveland now, I'm an assistant coach. Like one of the players came up to me and was like, can my dad come in? Because we have a lot of like no spectators and they can't come in or whatever
Yeah.
it is. And I'm like, I looked at him, I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, and he's
Yeah.
like, this is his first game he ever came to see me, like ever. Like, this is the first game ever. I'm like, I'm gonna get this guy in. Like, no matter what, even if it was no
Yeah.
spectators, he'd be watching it on the track right now. Like
Yeah.
I want to get him in there because at the end of the day, this is the reason why I'm with my son like this, and my daughters. Like, I want to be there every time. Like, no
Yeah.
matter what. Like, some people are like, oh, it's just a game. It's this, that. To me, it's not because you know
No.
what? My parents never watched one game of mine. Like my father or my mother. Like,
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, it's like I gotta be there for my kids. I need to change the cycle, and it's the only way. If
Yeah.
I don't show them the way, how they gonna know the way? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even my daughter, she coached the first week, her first basketball game. You thought I was gonna miss that? She was like, Dad, I don't know. They only let in like the kids' parents. I'm like, you're coaching. I'm your parent. I'm coming to watch
I'm
you.
going
Like,
there. Yeah.
I gotta be there for you. Like, no matter what. Like, some parents are like, oh, I gotta make the money. To me, I give money up to see my kids because I gotta be there. That's to me, that's more important than money.
Point. Yeah. Yeah.
And then some parents don't understand that. Like, just the time you give your kids, it's like a plant. If you don't water it, it's not gonna grow.
Girl. Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to water it. You need to be there for your kids no matter what. It could be a little thing. It could be a school play. Like, I'm going to a school play. When I wasn't working, I was going to all the school plays. I was picking up my kids from school. Like, to me, that I had to do that because my mom or my dad wasn't picking me up. So like, just to do those things, I mean, I feel good. Like, I want to be there no matter what. Like, if I have to be in a wheelchair, you wheel me to the game, wheel me to wherever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm there. I did 8 hours this weekend, like with my son's baseball team. Like, who's
Yeah.
doing that? Like, who's
Yeah.
doing that? Like, I mean, I could come home late and still wake up and go to my. It's easy to say, you know what? I don't need to go to the game. It's nothing. I'll just get the next one. I
Yeah.
try to go to all my kids' games. My
Yeah.
daughter, my son, my daughter was doing gymnastics. Like, I'm there. Like, I don't even know nothing about gymnastics. But you know what? I'm there.
Figure
You
it
see
out.
me.
Yeah.
You're gonna remember that because at the same time, we remember when our parents wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
when you're there, they're gonna remember you was there, and then hopefully they're gonna be there for their kids. So
I think because of our tough upbringing and stuff like that. I think that's why we are the way we are with our children. Even UG, taking your oldest son in, at a young age, man. Like, both you guys had children, what I'm saying, while we were in school, like, you know what I mean? And you guys had to step up and, be star basketball players and be fathers while we're still growing up. So I could imagine how hard it was, because I see how hard it is for me now, and I'm a grown man, like,
Yeah.
so what was you guys mind frames, like, what I'm saying, like, at that age, like, you know what I mean, when you're told that, hey, listen, you're gonna be a dad so early. How did that feel?
I'm gonna be honest, it was scary. Like, my senior year was like a roller coaster. When I
Yeah.
say a roller coaster, my mom's passed away when I was a junior in July. I turned 18. 7 days later, she passed away. So I had to go to school, and next thing I know, my girlfriend's pregnant, Marari, and it's like I, I don't got no parents. I got nobody to help me. But at the end of the day, I knew like no matter what, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do
You're gonna figure
for
it out.
and yeah, I'll figure it out, and that's what happened. So Caitlin came April 28th, 1999, man. Like we just finished, we just finished the garden. We lost. It was like great. Oh, I'm at the garden. Oh, now I got a baby. Now what? What I'm gonna do? Like it wasn't easy. And then George had Chris. Like how long ago? Not much, right?
Yeah, right after, basically May, almost as soon as I got out of school. So I didn't have any break any time. And coming off of that senior year, it was tough, man. I got a baby now. It was different when Christopher came. Christopher came and it was like, oh, you got a baby, you gotta work, dog. Like you can't just have no kid. And then, I bring him home. When Christopher was born, he had a machine that it uh it monitored his breathing to make sure that when he stopped breathing, it alerted you. And I brought him home. I'm dealing with it. It is what it is. I was happy. He's my son. He's here. I get home, and my sister husband comes in the room, and he tells me, "We don't want no sick babies in this house." And I'm like, "All right, what can I say? What can I do? It's your house. I hate it here. I'm 19. I gotta figure it out. I've always had to just make sure that I was doing something for Christopher to be all right, because it was nobody else to help besides my sister. She tried, but she did. Let me not say she tried. She helped the way she knew how to help. You know, Being in a relationship that wasn't a healthy relationship, she did what she could, and she stood by me as much as she could. But the facts are the facts, and it was really tough having a kid and happen to be responsible for a kid, dealing with a woman that was dysfunctional and just didn't want to have anything peaceful, and then being in a place that you don't want to be in. I was in a real dark space, not having my boys, and not having that peace of mind. So having Christopher, it's a blessing, and I wouldn't trade it. But the it's been a long one.
It's tough. It's done.
Wow.
God, God.
Hey, can I get a choose to inspire, not destroy?
The future.
It's crazy
That's great.
how we went from being boys, young men, to now being adults with families and kids and wives, and just new experiences, and loving our families and growing. And we've been running kind of long, so we about to wrap it up. You about to have to check out the to be continued on the uninspired inspiration. It's gonna be a part 2. We gonna keep it going, but before we go, Hans, I wanna say something to your wife, and I wanna be very clear, and
Listen, baby.
I want her to know that you are one of my oldest and dearest friends. Like we throw around the term bro a lot. And when it comes to you, you are my brother, and I love you. And I made a mistake when I didn't have you and my wedding, and we spoke about that, so I'm not gonna get into that. But that was solely an error on my part, and me dealing with some insecurities in our friendship and our relationship, and me not understanding that you are my brother and you have been my keeper. And you are my keeper, and I appreciate you. And I can't say it enough that I love you so very much, King, and I'm proud of the man that you've become. You kept me safe. You protected me. You loved me. You gave me a brother when I felt like I had nobody. You saved my life, dog. And I will never forget that. And I just don't want her to ever misunderstand the bond that we have and think that when you say something, it ain't real. If you say that's my dog, then that's my dog. And I understand that my actions at that time might not have shown something that you might have said. So I just wanted her to know that. Like this is my man. This is my heart. I love him.
I like you more, man. She was standing right there. She
Oh,
trying
all right.
Oh, man, got the flower
listen,
point.
like, you know, we're trying to control our
Point.
2-year-old. You know, so I told y'all I got
the
I
flower
got my
point.
2-year-old, and I got my young king. He's sleeping right now. But we love you, man. We love you. I know there's a part 2 coming.
Yeah.
You know, but my family will always love you, no matter what. If I'm the best man, if I'm not the best man, like, just know I am.
Yo, Hans,
the man.
you was my best
there.
man, Hans. Don't
You know what I'm
forget,
saying?
Hans,
Like,
you my best man.
there's never
You
gonna
are,
be a
baby,
day
don't
in this
forget.
world that I'm never gonna stop what I'm doing for you, bro.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
100%. You already know what's up. We family. KK, wrap it up, bruh. Shout out your queen.
Yeah, let me wrap it up real quick.
Go
You know,
ahead.
I want to do a little shout out to my family because, you know, my wife, we've been together for 13 years. And Hans, you was my best man. Don't forget about that in PR. So, yeah, I've been with my wife for 13 years, Rebecca. And with Caitlin, she's 22. My son, Ryan, at 12. And Ava just turned 5. So that's my family. I mean, I wish I could have them in the picture like Hans does. So maybe part 2 is coming soon.
Are you reading
So,
from a teleprompter? Are you ready?
Yo, easy. You know I need those flower points because if my wife doesn't get flower points,
She don't play.
part 2 will be in a different house. So I gotta give her flowers, and she is doing a great job with our kids. You know, my Ryan is on the honor roll, and you know, at times when I'm at work, she's telling me like, "Yo, I'm working, but your kids are doing, you know, they're in Zoom, and I gotta Zoom them and then go work and do this and that." So I want to thank Rebecca. You are a great person, and I love you. And I'm not reading nothing. I'm just. It's all heart. How my brothers are. So thank you for the platform.
Man. I don't mean to laugh. That's hilarious, though.
Nah,
Becky,
I know
you got him.
know
You got him trained right. Good job,
That's right.
girl.
That's
Good
right.
job,
Easy,
man.
Shout out to Becky,
easy,
man, and the
easy.
job that she's doing
Yes.
with your family,
But
bro.
all our women,
Like I
all
said,
our women
I
are doing the
admire
right
from a
thing,
distance.
and that's, you know, we got to give them
Oh,
their
man.
flowers.
You know what I
because at the
mean?
end
Like,
of
I'm
the
so
day-
proud of you guys. You guys don't understand. You know, even though we don't come around as much as we used to, you know what I mean? But we're still connected. We're still family. We're still watching over each other. We're still checking in on each other. So that's all that matters at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I know anytime I could pick up the phone, and you guys are always going to pick up the other end. You know what I mean? So I appreciate
For
that.
sure.
Man.
For sure, man.
100%, babe. You already know how I feel about you.
Oh, he's reading. He's reading all. He's reading. You guys know.
I'm not even gonna go into that bag. She know what's up, man. I saved that for part 2 when we get into the adult side of our life. I'm looking forward to it. Fellas, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to B and Kofi. Thank you for letting me get this one off. It meant the world to me, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And I hope that you understand that these friendships and these relationships, they mean a lot when you coming up, man. Find some people that hold on to you and they love you and you love them in return, and appreciate those relationships because it could turn into lifelong bonds. I turn friends into brothers. I turn strangers into family. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. They mean the world to me. Yo, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. You already know what it is. Committee crew for life. If you out there, Whoever you are, whatever you are, no matter what you're doing, just be inspired. Choose to inspire, not destroy. You heard? Peace.
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 Yo, 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 choose to inspire, not destroy.